got in.
Oh, that's your mic.
Let me go higher.
That's fine. But it's okay, it's fine. Good afternoon to everyone. And again, we humbly apologize for a delayed start. Um, Mrs. Gloria Belfon, President of the Grenada Council of Aging and former matron of the Richmond Home for the Aged. Ministry officials who are here with us. Representatives from the Grenada Citizen Advice and Small Business Agency, Grencase. Social workers and students of TAMCC, if you are here with us, good afternoon. Geriatric caregivers of the different senior citizens institutions across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, good afternoon. Today we are here as we commemorate the Elder Abuse Awareness Day on tomorrow, Saturday, June 15, and this forum is part of what we are doing to recognize and celebrate our elder persons in our different communities. My name is Petra Luzon, Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, and it is my esteemed pleasure to take you through today's proceedings. In everything we do, we put God first. And to begin our day's proceedings, I call on one of the representatives, that is Ms. Atisha Stanislaus, to lead us into a word of prayer. Ms. Stanislaus.
Good afternoon, everyone. Stand up, please. Place yourself in the presence of the Lord. Okay, then, Heavenly Merciful, O God, Father, as we gather here this evening, we thank you for what you're about to do and what you haven't done as yet. We thank you, O God, for your mercy, for taking us here safe. We thank you for each and every one of us at this time. We ask you, God, whatever we learn here, that we will put it into consideration and put it into practice, oh God. Lord, we just ask you to have your way and no one else but you, dear Father. Father, we thank you for everything today, and we thank you for your continuously to bless us and guide us and have your way in our life. In no other name but in your name, oh God. Lord, thank you for each and every one of us here at this time. We thank you for the bigger heads, dear God. We thank you for our supervisors and everyone. We just give you thanks in everything that we do and we say. Lord, we thank you for what you're about to do. Lord, we ask you that we take each and everything into consideration and put it into practice, what we have learned and what we are about to do, and you have your way. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Ms. Stanislaus, and that should have been Akita Stanislaus. I now call on Mr. Chika Courtney, Chief Social Development Officer at the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, to do our opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm supposed to do the welcome, not the opening remarks, but let me apologize for not being here. I'm on babysitting duties at the moment, so I have to be outside with my son. But on behalf of the ministry, I'd like to say welcome to this forum for geriatric caregivers. As part of our activities for World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, we thought it fit that we would have a special program just for caregivers, because we are aware that at times abuse may happen knowingly or unknowingly by caregivers, and we wanted to provide you with information to empower you so that you can be more efficient and effective in your duties as caregivers. Hence the reason we decided to have this forum here today. So I hope that as you partake this afternoon, that the information that is given here, that you would take it, bring it back to your colleagues and utilize it to do your jobs well. Special welcome also to our colleagues from Karaku. Thank you for being here. And once again, I hope that you have a good session. On behalf of the ministry, the permanent secretary, the minister, and the other staff of the ministry, we say welcome to this forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Courtney. Again, that was the welcome remarks from Mr. Courtney. We're supposed to be having the opening remarks from one of the representatives of the Ministry of Social and Community Development, who's unable to be here with us this afternoon. We now have a presentation for elder abuse. Ms. Gloria Belfon, the president of the Grenada Council of Aging and former matron of the Richmond Hill Home for the Aged. Let us welcome Ms. Belfon.
Pleasant good afternoon to everybody. Thank you, Madam Chair. As you've heard, my name is Gloria Belfon. I'm a nurse by profession. After serving general nursing for about 39 years thereabout, I decided to request to work at the Richmond Home because I have a passion for older people, and I just felt I needed to go there, make an impact in the lives of the persons at Richmond Home. So I worked at Richmond Home for 2 years, and then I retired. But I'm here this evening because I still have this passion for older persons. The theme for this awareness is a spotlight on older persons in emergencies. One of those emergencies is abuse. Many of our people in Grenada and throughout the world, but we're focusing on Grenada, are being abused. Many of our older persons are being abused. But the thing about it is that the abusers sometimes are not even aware that they are abusing the clients or the older persons they look after or they may come in contact with. So we want to create an awareness this evening. We want you to know what elder abuse is. We want you to know the types of elder abuses. And also I would like to share with you some signs of elder abuse. So at least when you see, you will be able to identify and help persons. Now, what is elder abuse? What really is elder abuse? Elder abuse is a single or a repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring within any relationship where there is an expectation of trust which causes harm or distress to any older person. So we hear it's an act, a single act, or the act can be repeated or acts repeated, or it could be lack of appropriate action you should take, or action you should have taken you did not take. And that is occurring within any relationship where there is an expectation of trust. So if you're looking after an older person, there has to be a level of trust. That person would trust you.
And when that trust is broken and causes harm and distress to the individual, it is called abuse. It is also the term used to describe abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation of persons 60 years and over. As a geriatric care provider, it is important for you to know this topic so that you do not become perpetrators yourself. You do not become perpetrators of abuse. And also, that knowledge can help you to identify elder abuse and prevent older adults who may be vulnerable. Yes? So the information I'm going to give you this evening should help you, one, not to become perpetrators of abuse. Two, identify abuse so you can help persons who are vulnerable. Yeah? Now, there are many types of abuse, but I'll just give you a few of them, those that are very prevalent among us. One, we have physical abuse. Physical abuse, and that's the abuse that occurs when someone inflicts or causes bodily harm. Example, hitting, pushing. You might push the person, they fall, or they knock on something, causing damage, bruises, slapping, and all other forms of trauma that you can give to an individual, an older person, that would cause them to be hurt. Also, physical abuse may include restraining against the individual's will. And I know we love to do that sometimes because the person might not be behaving well, might be aggressive, might be giving trouble, as we say. You restrain them. But that's physical abuse. And you are restraining them against that individual's will. And that includes locking them in a room or tying them to a bed or a chair or something. And we love to do that. Like I said, I work in Richmond Home. So when I say things here, I don't say what I feel, what I think, what I've seen, what I've experienced. So that's physical abuse. We also have emotional abuse, or it is also called psychological abuse. And this abuse occurs when a caregiver says hurtful words to a client. Lots of times we say hurtful words to the clients, and we don't even realize we're abusing them. You yell at them, you shout, "Way to behave yourself! Way to stop that!" And all sorts of ways we interact with these people, and we abuse them, we don't even know. You threaten them sometimes, or you repeatedly ignore them when they want your attention. Repeatedly ignore them when they want your attention. That's abuse. Preventing the older person from seeing close relatives and friends is also another form of emotional or psychological abuse. They want to see somebody. They feel they want to see their son, their daughter, an aunt, a cousin, And they may ask you to call them for me, please. Why don't behave yourself and keep yourself quiet? I have time now. And you just forget about them. Yeah? You prevent them from seeing close relatives or friends. And that is a form of emotional abuse. Then we have neglect. And this is when the caregiver does not even try to respond to the older adult's needs. And that may include ignoring physical, emotional, and social needs. Physical needs like you bathe them. If you bathe them, is how you bathe them. The teeth, you might bathe them, but their teeth and brush. Huh? The hair and comb, days the hair in their head and comb. Yeah? Physical abuse. We also have emotional abuse as part of neglect. And emotional speaks of love, belonging. Listen, older people need to know they are loved. Older people need to know that they belong. Older people need safety. They need to feel safe. They need to have their autonomy as well. Don't take everything from them. They need to have their autonomy. Self-esteem. You must help them maintain their self-esteem. And they must be recognized. They must be recognized as persons. Listen to me. You are getting there. You are getting there. I am almost there. I am almost there. And the same measure you meet, that's the measure you're going to get back. Yeah? Full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So be careful how you treat the older persons you care for. Be very careful how you treat them. Now, their social needs. They need interaction. You need to interact with them. Don't just leave them there, like if they don't exist. And you gone, you're doing what you want, you're reading your book, you're on your phone, you're watching TV, you're doing all sorts of things. And that older person is there, you wouldn't even sit down and have a conversation with them. You need to interact with them. You need to befriend them. Yeah? They want friends too. So you need to befriend them. They need to have a sense of family and community. You know, they need to have that. When you have older persons in a home or wherever, they need to feel at home. They need to have that sense of family and community spirit. And they need to have intimacy. So you may have a wife, you might be working in an establishment in one of the homes, and you may have a wife or a husband. And that person feels for the husband. And let me tell you something, when people get older, their sexual passion does not go. It does not go. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it doesn't go. And sometimes you say, what's wrong with this old man or this old woman? No. Call the wife, call the husband, let them come. Yeah? And the homes must have a place where you can have these people, they can go and enjoy themselves. Yeah. Yes, of course. Don't deprive them of their intimacy. Do not deprive them of their intimacy. Yeah? We also abuse older people when we deny them of food. medications, and access to health care. Yeah? We don't give them the medication that they need. We don't give them food. Sometimes some older persons ain't get no food. Yeah? And sometimes if they're in homes, in care facilities, you bring the food for them, sometimes they're not able to take it. So it stays there, or you bring it for them in the house, it stays on the table, wherever, and then you go back later and you take it. I had a relative in one of the care facilities, and when I went to look for him, the food was there, and he make a whole mess of it on the bed, on the whatever, and nobody reported with him. We had lunch maybe around 12:30. I went to visit him at 4, and it was there in it. So all these are neglect, abuse in the form of neglect. We have abandonment. Abandonment is also another type of abuse. And it means to leave an older person, an older adult, who needs help. You leave them alone without planning for his or her care. Now, these are very important to humans. The social needs, the emotional needs, they are very, very important to humans, especially when you're an older person, so that you don't feel alone. You don't feel isolated. Loneliness is one of the things that can lead people to dementia. Yeah? You're lonely. Nobody to talk to. Nobody comes to visit you. You're just there. Just the change, it affects you and causes some people to experience dementia. We have sexual abuse. Some of our caregivers involve older persons in sexual acts. And this involves forcing an older adult to watch or to be part of sexual acts. Please, don't do that. Don't encourage it. And if you know of anybody doing it, report it. Please. And then we have financial abuse. Somebody say, wow. This happens when money or belongings are misused or stolen from an older adult. It can include forging checks, taking someone's retirement or social security benefits. We don't have social security benefits here, but we have things like you call seed and what have you. Yeah, and NIS and so, and that can pass us that. Withholding access to money or financial information. They want to find out about their money, they want to find out about their bank account. You ain't telling them. You're not letting them know. You're holding it back. Or even using a person's credit card and bank accounts without their permission. And I want you to note well, this type of abuse can also include changing names on wills, bank accounts, life insurance policies, or title to a house without the person's permission. And I personally know of a case where we had a caregiver to a family member of mine. She was a very good caregiver, very good caregiver. But you know what she did? Her son was abroad, and she had only one child. He was abroad. So she got that lady and a lawyer to sign over her house to her. Yeah. When the son came and she died and they checked, they realized what she did. But luckily, he got it back. He was able to get it back. So it happens. It happens right among us. People do it. They take their clients, the older person's bank book or credit card, whatever it is, go to the bank. You know you have to go and buy something for $200, but you buy for $250 or $300 for yourself. You take out for yourself. And the person doesn't know. You didn't tell them. They ain't even seen statement. They're asking how much money remain on the bank, you ain't telling them. Because you know you're taking. Every time you go to do something for them, you take something for yourself. Every time they send you to buy something, you do something for yourself. That is financial abuse. This is financial abuse. We do not want this to happen to our older persons in Grenada. Now, like the chairman said, I am the president of an organization called the Grenada National Council on Aging. And our main responsibility in that organization is to advocate on behalf of older persons. So I am creating awareness here, but I'm also advocating on behalf of older persons so that you do not abuse our older persons physically, emotionally, or psychologically. You do not neglect them. You do not sexually abuse them or allow persons to sexually abuse them. And you do not abuse them financially. I want to implore this upon you. I trust that you would have picked something up out of this and you would look at yourself, think about how you interact and how you treat the person you look after. You may need to change the way you talk to the person. Yeah? Remember, when people are getting older, they forget. Yeah? They don't remember some things, and they might say or accuse you, and they like to accuse people, especially people around them. Yeah? I remember my mother accusing my 3-year-old grandson, 3 or 4 years grandson, for stealing her ring, her wedding ring to engage a girl. He was 3, 4. And she was telling everybody he took her ring, her wedding ring, and he took it to engage a girl. Yeah. And so you have to be, you just have to know how to deal with these people. And listen, when they forget, sometimes they say some crazy things that would upset you. But when they say those things, you must know how to deal with them. You must know how to deal with them. Now, I also want to tell you about some signs of abuse. So, if a person is being abused, maybe not by you, but you can pick it up when you see certain signs. So you might have a client who is very jovial, you know, very outgoing person, and you come in, you find them depressed, they look confused, they look withdrawn, or they might be agitated or violent. They want to fight. They're getting angry. These are signs of abuse. Check it out, investigate. Something is happening. Somebody is doing something. Somebody is doing something to them. And abusers can be family members. Abusers can be caregivers. Abusers can be neighbors. Abusers can be strangers. Yeah? Abusers can be friends. So when you see that, be on the alert and look out for that person. See what is happening. You might find your client is being isolated from friends and family. They always want to see their friends and their family members, but then you find, no. They want to isolate themselves. They don't want to see them again. Check, something is going on. You might observe bruises, unexplained bruises, burns, scars on their skins. You need to find out what's going on. What is happening to that person? Don't just watch it, bypass it. Pay attention and investigate. They may appear dirty, unkempt, underfed, dehydrated, over or even under medicated, or not receiving medication at all, not receiving the care that they need for their medical problems. That is abuse. Yes, that also is abuse. They may develop preventable conditions, and a simple condition is like bed sores. Bed sores, I learned in the nursing profession, is bad nursing care. Poor nursing care. I don't care who do it, who ain't do it, but it's poor nursing care. Your clients must not develop bed sores. It means that they're not cared for properly. They're not turned sufficiently, or they're not cleaned properly, or whatever, but it's bad nursing care. And these things are avoidable. So you can prevent them. So they would develop these conditions. When you see that, you go to visit them, you see that it's happening, check it out, please. And then you have sudden and unexpected financial losses or unpaid bills, despite that person having adequate financial resources. They have money to pay their bills. They have money to do all their business. But all of a sudden, they're experiencing financial losses. The bills are not paid. They're getting letters from Grenlec. They're getting letters from whoever, right? Grenlec coming to cut off the bill. Nawasa cutting off the water. Yeah? And you wonder, well, what's happening? But this person has money, and he or she can pay the bill. You need to check out. We have some financial abuse going on there. Yes? So, ladies and gentlemen, I would not be long with you. I trust that what I've said this evening would have created some awareness. Yeah? Created some awareness so that you would be a better caregiver, and you would help others, your colleagues, your friends, family members, because caregivers are not only you. You know, you have family members home, because some of the people you look after in their homes, in their personal homes, they have family members. And you might be doing a good job, but the family member might be abusing the person. All of that you have to look at. Yes? Be attentive. be observant, and look after your client with pride, with dignity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Belfon. And to all the caregivers here, and maybe those who are joining us online, let us try to remember to protect our elder persons. Let us continue to celebrate our elder persons. And as we go back to our respective institutions, let us look for the signs, pay attention, give them more time. And as Ms. Belfon would have shared with us, there's so much you should have learned from what she would have said. Let us also remember not to become perpetrators of abuse. Let us ensure elder persons' safety. Elder abuse is a growing health issue worldwide, and we need to pay attention. Let us not be, here in Grenada, have our elder persons been victims to elder abuse. So as we continue to campaign to combat this issue, let us all pay attention. If you see something, say something. Thank you very much, Ms. Belfon, again. With us this afternoon is Mr. Eddie Frederick, Image Management Consultant and HR Development Specialist. A short bio for Mr. Frederick. He's been working as an image management consultant in the area of human resource development, training, institutional design, public relations and marketing, locally, regionally, and within recent times, internationally. He is a certified Caribbean hospitality trainer, CCHT, having undergone extensive training in the Bahamas and otherwise London, Minneapolis, and Miami. His first discipline is human resource development training and motivation. During his extensive experience, Mr. Frederick has been retained by the following international organizations: the Caribbean Tourism Organization, the CTO, the Organization of American States, the OAS, Canada Training Award Project, the CTAP, the European Union, EU, Canadian International Development Agency, CEDA, and the United States Embassy, Grenada. Several local and regional companies and organizations have benefited from his expertise as a social skills motivational trainer. Mr. Frederick's dedicated voluntary training and development contributions to the local immigration department of the RGPF since 1994 assisted that department to be recognized by the United Nations in 2012, placing second in the world for service and first in this hemisphere. In 2003, Eddie joined the Regional Caribbean Speakers Circuit and never looked back, making appearances at virtual and in-person specially convened motivational sessions throughout the English-speaking Caribbean, to include but not limited to CASMET, the Caribbean Association of Medical Technologists, ECCB's, the Eastern Caribbean Bank Entire Team Complement, the Caribbean Secondary Schools Principal Association Conference 2021, and other awards and dinner galas. So we now welcome Mr. Frederick to do his presentation on professionalism. Mr. Frederick.
Good afternoon, folks. You all had lunch already? Oh, that's why. Why didn't they have you eat before you listen to me? Anyhow, let's see if we can get some food for thought. I've been asked to do this session for your professionalism in the workplace, and I'm very, very delighted to share my expertise with you. I find when Ms. Belfon finished, you all did not really give her the rousing round of applause that she really deserved. Because I am sorry I wasn't here for the beginning, because she knows her subject, don't you agree? Yeah. Oh yes, and she's given a lot of pearls for wisdom this afternoon. Now, Our theme for this afternoon's professionalism in the workplace segment of your sharing this afternoon is professionalism makes me stand out. Let me hear you.
Professionalism makes me stand out.
Let me hear you again.
Professionalism makes me stand out.
Lovely. Professionalism, in other words, sets you apart. You got a little introduction here this afternoon about me. And I know a lot of you thought the only thing I do is being controversial. Folks, that is a hobby and I love it. But this is my profession. And there are one or two of you inside here I'm noticing are younger than the length of time I have been doing this. I'm into my 39th year. I started at Spice Island Beach Resort. I never looked back. And never mind, folks, that customer service in Grenada is at its lowest. Never mind that I work all over the Caribbean. Boston, San Francisco, Vegas, and Miami, my second home. Notwithstanding, my most outstanding client is right here in Grenada. That's oxymoron, eh? That we should have such bad service for the most part, just about everywhere. But my most outstanding client is right here. And that client has been offering itself to the world. But I'll share a couple of things with you for you to understand the context of professionalism. Because you heard the theme, professionalism makes you stand out. And professionalism at this particular local entity makes that entity stand out. That local entity has 4 things that a lot of other entities in Grenada have. Listen to them. Locally owned, locally managed, locally staffed, and locally trained. And it has offered itself to the world. That client is Spice Island Beach Resort. A very outstanding entity. A matter of fact, it is a symbol of true and genuine national independence because it's totally local. And it stayed right here and became one of the top 10 unique boutique resorts in the world. But who are the people working there? Some of them are your cousins. Some of them might be your neighbors. Some of them might be your son, daughter, I don't know, friend. But they are locals. Folks, you know what that goes back to? You know what that shows? People do what they're allowed to do. You see, in that professional environment, they can't do what they want. It's not Juve. Folks, in case you don't know, Juve is chaos, you know. But the only thing that makes Juve appear to be successful, music. Folks, when you go to work on a daily basis, where's your music? That is why your workplace is a living hell. Because to a great extent, a lot of you go there to do your own thing. And you get away with it. And then when you reach home, I don't want to go back there tomorrow now. Why you don't want to go back there tomorrow? Because of you, you know. Because you went to do your own thing. And if everybody comes to do their own thing, there must be clashes. Not so? So the first segment of this delivery here today is going to be preparing you with a proper mindset. Setting the mood. And that's what I've started to do. And the second is the fundamentals of professionalism. Folks, anything that does not grow dies. We just came through Corpus Christi. And some of you plant your peas and your corn. Some of them didn't grow. So what does that mean? They died. It is either the hole that you planted them in, the conditions are not right. Or the seeds themselves may not have been good. They may have been faulty. So that which does not grow dies. In the same way, anyone who does not contribute gets eliminated. What does that mean? Folks, a lot of people that are working for people have been eliminated and they didn't even realize it. They get no memo. Everybody else get a memo to tell them when there's a party. Except them. But they're still working there, you know. And then eventually what happens? How come they doesn't tell me anything? Because they want you to go. You got eliminated. You understand me? And you didn't even realize it. And you sit down there blaming management, not realizing you have been forgotten. They want you to go. It's their way of frustrating you out. Isn't that interesting? Folks, wherever you find yourself in life, at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. What does that mean? If you keep on doing what you're doing, you will keep on getting what you're getting. If you don't like what you're getting, stop it. Try something else. But as long as you don't stop it, you will continue to get what you're getting. Look at the personal checklist that actually prepares you to become a professional. Is my uniform clean and in good condition? Folks, the other thing is, a lot of us who are working wherever we work, if the policy of the place is not to provide us with uniform, you should make your own. What do I mean by making your own? Just go in your closet now and look for the things that you ain't like much now. If it's 5 days you work, pull out 5 of them now and put them up front, and that becomes your uniform. You're working for a little kakada, but you're taking all your clothes and go to work. And then you're telling me when you see me things bad. You ain't see you stupid? You don't need a rocket scientist to help you with that. Don't wear all your clothes, because you and I know, and we have mostly ladies in here, and you all know you all are a fashion statement. Every time you have to go out, it's something new. Something different, not so? So why are you wearing it to work? You're wasting your clothes. You getting the message? When you could use it as a uniform, and you're using your economic sense now, your financial sense. Am I clean, neat, and tidy? Are my hands and fingernails clean and presentable? Are my shoes clean and presentable? Is my hair neat and covered, if required? Folks, you see these 5 questions? You'll be surprised to know. In the first 10 seconds of someone meeting you for the first time, they can answer these questions. Be careful how you appear. Your appearance is important. That's all this is saying to you. Let's say this young man here, Ed, is interested in a BMW car. But Mercedes came out with a better one of the same category. But the one he was interested in happens to be a foreign used one down the road. But he happened to be looking at TV one night, and he saw a 30-second ad relating to the new Mercedes-Benz. Folks, you'd be surprised to know a 30-second ad was packed with so much information that he moved from a $60,000 car to a $250,000 car on a 30-second ad. The ad had enough information for him to make up his mind to spend $190,000 more. What am I saying to you? You see the 10-second thing? Juxtapose that to the 30-second. You see how many things you can do in a short space of time to make up your mind, either about somebody or something? Start thinking, folks. Pay attention. Look at the 6th one. Is my health certificate up to date? We find in Grenada a lot of people are focused more on the outside and the inside rotting. They're taking ginger They're drinking, what they call the thing? Turmeric. They're doing all kind of stupidness. And when they finish here, them, yeah, boy. Feel good. And they feel they could live again. This time now, the thing is metastasizing inside of them and getting worse. But they're not going to the doctor. Me, I can't afford no doctor now. Okay, stop for a minute. Let's add up the value of the clothes you have on. And we started with the hairstyle. And when we come from the head, we check in the eyelash. All those things cost money, folks. But you're focused on the outside, and the inside is rotting. Folks, we have to learn our priorities. We have to get our priorities right. Your health is your wealth. God gave all of us one container in which to live, and we should take care of it. KFC should not be our main course. Have you ever seen the documentary on KFC, folks? If you look at it, you'll never eat KFC again. If you stand up and you watch the fowl, you'll see it grow. But you're eating that. Anybody could see you grow? Or why are you eating something that if you stand up long enough with enough patience, you could see it grow? Some of you never take a lifeboat or a little rowboat to Glover's Island. But you happen to know that Grenada KFC is the best. You never travel to nowhere, you never taste nobody other KFC. But you know Grenada's is the best. You didn't see you're hooked? Totally hooked. One of the lines in the pandemic when the places were open to do business, one of the longest lines was KFC. Folks, we're not eating healthy. Another thing on that particular front to show you how we're not even patriotic when it comes to eating our things. We celebrated 50 years of independence recently, and there was a night on the Carnage that was dedicated to we thing, we food, we culture, we everything. And people make noise because they couldn't sell chicken and chips. If they were in a hardline communist country, they would have jailed those people making the noise. Because that is just anti-patriotic. Are we making any sense, folks? Folks, we had to start to get with the program, you know. Because the more fowl you import is the more your money goes outside. And then what happens to your local economy? That aside, make sure, folks, that you do an annual medical checkup. And it must be comprehensive. And stop saying you can't afford it. Forgo one of the piece of clothes that you buy. Forgo the 2 phones you have in your pocket. Oh, you have there, Samsung? No, is it? We made it 2 of them. Let me show you how people feel equipped now when they're dressed. Everybody feels totally equipped when they're dressed now. I am complete now because I have my 2 phones in my pocket. Isn't that interesting? Are you feel heavy? You know? None of them on a contract, you know. Pay as you go and beg as you go. But in your pocket. If you go to the cell in town, Digicel or Lime, Flow, whatever, and you're trying to buy one of these phones, they are in excess of $3,000. But you happy and you feel heavy to have $6,000 in your pocket. But you want me to show you something else? I like to demonstrate things, you know. You want me to show you something else? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have a bucket in this hand, and a bucket in this hand, and you're drinking water to bathe. And your 2 phones in your pocket. And then by Thursday, you're frustrated on the job. You know why? You have to wake up early. So when Agnes say, hey, good morning, Cindy, how you doing? Watch, wait and see, I'm tired there. I have to wake up early every morning. And this person talking had a 2 phones in their pocket, you know. Interestingly, they have the answer to their stress in their pocket. All they got to do is to relinquish ownership of one by selling it. And they could get water in their house, so they could sleep 1 more hour, and they could bathe inside. Folks, always remember, priorities introduce you to a man's character. It tells you who that man is. But you see, when you came to work and Cindy was happy and telling you good morning, you laughing at Cindy with she Alcatel. But Cindy bathed inside. Cindy has her priorities right. This time now, Cindy is living in a nice little 2-bedroom that she went to NIS or the credit union and get a loan to build, but she has an Alcatel. But you have your 2 phones in your pocket and you're coming out a crab hole. And when you dress in the morning, nobody could dress better than you. Oh man, when you come out your crab hole, eyelash first. You're happy to come out your crab hole. And privately, you are seething inside. And that is the foundation for envy and jealousy. Are we making any sense, folks? Because you're faking it. Remember my phone again, let me show you. I tell you, I'm acting today for y'all, you know. And when you come out your crab hole to make yourself feel good because you're sending out wrong signals about yourself, watch you. Looking nice, but you come out from a crab hole. Folks, you need to watch that because you are putting stress on yourself. Thank you very much. Not away from the house, away from the crab hole. Is my health certificate up to date? Take yourself in hand, folks. Take yourselves in hand. Are my teeth clean and breath fresh smelling? Folks, take care of you. You know, the only part of our bodies that does not regenerate itself is your teeth. Only part. So if you don't take care of them, what happens? That's why some people mouth look like zip, you know. Where they have teeth on top, they don't have below, so when the mouth closed, it properly closed because they did not take care of their ivory. Take care of your ivory. Folks, when you're brushing your teeth, before you brush your teeth, floss. Have you ever been speaking to anybody and you know they ain't eating anything? But all of a sudden you see them chewing. What do you think just happened? They just find a piece of last week pork. It just fall down from somewhere in the back there. And they're giving it its last rites. Folks, that has to be a source of bad breath. Because if that stayed in your mouth, it will decay. Are we making any sense? Folks, when you are brushing your teeth, shove the toothbrush as far back as you can comfortably stand it until you are retching, like you're vomiting. Folks, you are actually going to be dislodging a lot of what you call tonsil stones. You're going to be dislodging what is called food sediments that are lodged at the back of your throat, far down. Those are a source of bad breath. Have you ever found one and you crush it? Smell it. If you do this regularly, the chances of these things developing at the back there become 0 because you're doing it constantly. Look at this one. Have I bathed and deodorized? Finish it for me. You see the last word in that question? Very important. Folks, you have to stay current. There are lots of people who can't stand the cold water in the morning, so they bathed last night. Folks, I want you to know, people who have that habit develop a smell. You need to watch that. You develop a smell. Folks, this nurse here is a medical practitioner, because once one, always one. And she could tell you that the body, when sleeping, is detoxing. Your liver is doing its work, your help me, kidneys doing their work, whatever. And where are the toxins going when they are depleting toxins? Through your pores, in your bladder. So if you're not getting up to urinate, the excess coming out, that's why you develop a smell. So when you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to bathe. We live in a hot country, folks. You could imagine outside hot. You bathed last night for in the morning. And you're going to have a dream where a dog running you down. When you wake up, you're wet, you know. And then you expect now to just put on clothes and go to work? No, you must smell old. I ain't dropping it as it needs to be dropped, you know, folks. We have to take care of our personal hygiene. The other thing about deodorizing, not everybody can use deodorants because they have chemicals in them that gives people glands and, you know, that sort of thing. But common lime and soda bicarb helps. Remember, you're dealing with the elderly. Some of them have no, what you call, they say what on their mind. No filters, that's the word I'm looking for. Some of them have no filters. You stretch over them, they say, you're a cow, or you smell so. They might just drop it, and then you feel offended. You feel fresh, you feel this, and that's where abuse starts because your ego has been busted. You need to watch that. Take precautionary measures. Go there smelling good. Not overly, but smelling good, so that you know you're clean. Is my makeup moderate? In other words, when last I checked, it's only once a year that I have Juve. So take it light. Is my makeup moderate? Folks, you wear makeup to enhance. You don't wear makeup to mask. Because the truth is, you cannot cover ugliness. Ugliness, folks, is a vibe. It's not a look. It is a vibration. It's a frequency. How many of you have friends or people you know that are not necessarily the best looking, but they're kind, generous, just lovely? Folks, that is what beauty is. That is where beauty resides, in those things, not in how the face look. Because I've seen a lot of people who are very beautiful to look at, but they are pretty ugly. What does that mean? Because what they allow to come from inside here is undesirable. Thank you very much. Is my perfume mild and my jewelry simple? And folks, this is a powerful one. I'm bringing to you some consciousness today. There is a new ailment that people suffer from. It's getting popular the world over. It is called fragrance intolerance. And the nurse here could tell you, it takes a while to diagnose it, to find out what it is. Imagine you go in the hospital with one complaint, and a nurse or a caregiver over you with a perfume that just killing you. We have to watch that. Folks, you are caregivers. You have to wear neutral scents. You have to wear earthy scents or citrus scents. What is an earthy scent? Spices. I'll let you in on something, the men especially. There's this fragrance called, by Arawak Island, a local one, Island Man. Look for it. It's only $30 on the shelf in the supermarket or the pharmacy. Spice-based. Oh, awesome. You want to know who it is most popular among men? You want to listen to who? Women. A lot of women love it. And when the chemistry of a woman mixed with Island Man is to die for. No, I'm serious. It is to die for. Island Man. Fellas, listen to me. You rake and scrape and you get a little $300. You buy a Boucheron, D&G, or whatever. Fahrenheit. What? Millennium? Whatever. Good? You think you should wear that to work? Ain't you retarded? Because in 90 days when it's done, you're telling me all your brokes. things bad. Because look at your priority when you should be wearing Island Man to go to work. And every 3 months, you could actually afford $30 to replace it and keep your dress cologne for when you're going out. Are we making any sense, folks? So study your head. Are my undergarments appropriate? Folks, have you heard the prefix before garment? Under. Under. Ladies, if you wear tight pants, tight skirts, tight dresses, wear whole panties, please. That is, that is professionalism. When you're putting on your equipment to go to war, your French cut and your eye patch and your slinging shot, you're going to war. But when you're going to work, it's a different thing. Folks, you have to keep the conversation in context of work. You're a caregiver for somebody's father, but you're gone all sexy as hell with French cut and it printing, and what do you expect the man? The man has no filter. You change the relationship between you. You change the mindset. You change the atmosphere. And then you say fresh. Not so? Watch that. Wear whole seamless panties. If you find a panty not, you don't understand that? Whole seamless drawers. Because it's work you're working. Another part of that, as we run it, we want to talk about cleavage. Careful with that, folks, because it's professional. What you do when you dress like this lady here, do you mind? I'm sorry about that, but I just wanted to show you, even with a polo shirt, look at how she's dressed. If I engage in conversation with her, I am forced to keep my eyes above the breast line. There's nothing for me to tiptoe to peep at. Are we making any sense? So it doesn't even occur, thank you. It doesn't even occur to me to get lecherous with her because there's nothing to see. Are we making any sense? Keep it professional. Do I carry my pencil in my hair or on my ear? You're not a mason, you're not a carpenter. Have I washed my hands before going on duty and after using bathroom facilities? Folks, we have become a very nasty nation. 2017, we had a rash of conjunctivitis, red eye. Why? Nastiness. Every time I heard a promo during COVID about washing your hands, that used to annoy me because they're not talking to me. But it was necessary for them to make a promo to remind people to wash their hands. God, that has to be ludicrous. We're supposed to know that. Folks, the most diseased, infested, or virus-infested place in your home is your doorknob, your cupboard handles, even your cell phones if you don't have a culture of cleaning it regularly, your light switches, your tap in your bathroom, your tap in the kitchen. Make it a habit to clean these things. Good? So have I washed my hands before going on duty and after using bathroom facilities? Look at some of the desirable behaviors, folks. Be alert at all times and be aware of your surroundings. You are a caregiver. You are the only security the person you're giving care to has during your shift. Are we making any sense? Be aware of your surroundings. Speak clearly so that your colleagues, your clients, and customers can easily understand what you're saying. Discontinue the private use of your cell phones for personal and puerile purposes while on duty, because that's a distraction. You could be scrolling and something is happening inside there under your watch. You are responsible. So be very careful. Folks, a simple little thing like that could get you fired at Spice Island Beach Resort. The use of your cell phone while on duty. Why? They're paying you to work, not to use your cell phone. You know what is interesting? A lot of us in Grenada have an objection to people enforcing that rule right here in Grenada. But when we take the plane and we end up in Brooklyn, we obey every rule in the people workplace. But in our own country, we want to vex. Somebody told me in our workplace the other day, say, hey, Mr. Frederick, I have a cell phone. If suppose my child's sick, how she gonna call me? I say, you're walking in the bush. The first number you should give your children and make available to them is your workplace. Not your cell phone. Because if my rule is no cell phone, you're coming to tell me your child just called you and see you volunteering to go home? Your child just called you to tell you they're sick? Where was that? On my cell phone. Okay, go take care of your child, and when you finish, let them pay you, eh? You get the message? Because you just contravened the rules. If even the child lie, and you have a setup with the child to lie for you to go home, I have no proof. I have to let you go because the call came through the workplace phone. Are we making any sense now? Folks, we have to start to think. We have to start to think. But I'll ask you this question, because a lot of us in Grenada, we don't have our ducks lined up properly. So as a result, we tend to lose focus. Let me ask you this magic question. Why do you work? It's something you take for granted. So it's a question you never expect. And you know no answer is incorrect, because that's the reason why you work. Why do you work? Somebody for money. Because it all boils down to that. So what else? To provide for your kids. Pardon? To sustain our needs. Come on. Work with me. You're working for a lot of people. Because you say our needs. Is you alone I see there, you know? You should say my needs. Because when you say that, other people feel they don't have to say nothing, you know, because you speak for them. Huh? Come on. We're only hearing on this side. What happening here? Why do you work? To save for later.
I don't want to stay home.
Yeah, nothing in that. That's right. Folks, as I told you, none of the reasons you gave or you have, which you didn't give, is incorrect. But I want to give you a deeper reason as to why we work. We work to maintain our standard of living and quality of life. Never forget that. You do not work for money. You work to maintain your standard of living and quality of life. But here where the money comes in. All how you consider the money that you get right now, not enough. Try maintaining your standard of living and quality of life without it. Does that make you think? So, when you wake up in the morning and you have that behind your head, that I work to maintain my standard of living and quality of life, and you wake up with a poor attitude this morning of, me feel to wrong day now, I bet you when you reflect on that deep reason why you work, you are all pulling yourself up and say, boy, get out of here. You getting the message? Because if you don't go, your standard of living and quality of life will suffer. You will suffer. Let me ask you another question. And I want you to stop. Think before you utter your knee-jerk reaction to this question. What is more important to you? And I'm going to come around the room until I get what I consider or what is considered generally the correct answer, and we'll stop. What is more important to you? Family or work? No, you see, you start to answer already. Think. Stop and think. That's what our problem is. Think, because you see, as you start to think now, you're getting confused. Hello? But your answer just now out of poor attitude because you feel you should choose family over work. Well, I don't know about you. I work to take care of my family. So you see, they're symbiotic. They are symbiotic. Because just now we discovered that we Work to do what? To maintain our standard of living, quality of life. Wouldn't you say your family is part of your standard of living and your quality of life? You have to provide. You have to provide. But I'll tell you something. When everything at home is okay, fine and dandy, work comes first, because it is work that causes everything at home to be okay. When everything at home is not okay, family comes first. Because you will report to work physically, but you won't be there mentally. Are we making any sense? Yes. It's as simple as that. Folks, we have to rewire our brains. We have to line up our priorities. We have to make sure that we're not only waiting for the end of the month to get that salary, to blow it, to do stupidness, to see if we have anything left so we could pay the rent. Because the rent should be paid first. The mortgage should be paid first. Folks, where are those parents that used to teach their children life? You know, we were taught life by our parents, and we have neglected our children today by not passing it on. My poor mother told us when we were growing up, the first bill we should pay is for where we live. Because you have a private place to suffer. Isn't that interesting? Because when you go in and you close the door, nobody knows your business. There are a lot of people with Nike this and Air Jordan that and this, that and the other. And when the night comes, they're below the tunnel sleeping. Almost. Are we making any sense? Everybody knows their business. Everybody knows their business because their priorities are not right. So, moving back to this, we want you to perform your service with a smile so that you are approachable, sorry. Folks, let me tell you something. I do a lot of people watching because I am at airports regularly. And I absorb people. I just sit and watch people. But I know to smile while I'm watching them. You know why? Because I have a graphic mind. So if I'm wondering, what the hell she have on there, Lord? While I'm sitting there watching her, my head will be swinging like that and watching her. But suppose she looks back and sees my face looking like that. What would be her response? What are you looking at? Not so? Oh yes, I elicited that. But when I smile while looking at her, I'm still wondering, what the hell she have on there, Lord? And she doesn't know. And when she looks back at me, what does she do? Hi, hello, sir. Isn't that interesting? A smile neutralizes. And that is why we should wear a smile. You have people and you tell them, oh God, smile now, show my faces. You lie. So you train your face to be. Are we making any sense here? So you trained your face to be. Good? Follow your things to do list, folks. If you don't have one, make one. What do I mean by that? You are a caregiver. You must have certain things that you must do. As soon as you reach, you have to prepare this, you have to do this, you have to check on it. No, sir? Make a checklist, man. Do you know seeing it written helps you to feel accomplished at the end of the day when you see at the end of everything that is written, you see a tick? That's discipline, folks. When you come from there, you say, oh, I achieved a lot today, boy. I did this, oh, 13 things. So all these things I just do, boy. You start to feel accomplished. To the point where you realize you could even become more efficient by adding more, doing more. Folks, stop measuring. A lot of us use this word carelessly, karma. We realize that the reason why we are where we are is because karma holding us back. He who measures will be measured in return. Never forget that. You want to measure work? You will never be outstanding at your job if you measure. Because you will be measured in return. The forces of the universe will measure you. Because you will only get what you give. You cannot go beyond that measure. Be respectful to your clients, folks, your superiors, and even your colleagues. Be respectful. You don't have to like them. I was telling somebody the other day, I'm big on respect. I don't care who like me and who ain't like me. Because I tried paying the rent once with that, and the landlord run me. He tell me, wheel and come again. But I could pay the rent with respect, though, by just asking him for a little more time. And he respects me enough to give me more time. Are we making any sense? Folks, let us be mindful of the power that respect comes with. I'll give you a quick little example. There's a gentleman who, for whatever reason, I am told, doesn't like me, and that's okay. One day, January 2023, my phone rang. I don't have his number in my phone because I don't know him. We're not friends. I've never interacted with him, but he doesn't like me. That's okay. Phone rings. Thank you for calling. This is Eddie. How may I help you? Hey, Mr. Frederick. You see respect start? I don't like people call me Mr., but he feel he should. You see the way the respect starts? So I said, yes, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. This is so-and-so. I say, oh, great. Nice to hear from you, man. I advertised for a personal assistant. And this young lady applied for the job. But I noticed on her resume, she had you as a reference. So I said, well, what's her name? Told me her name. I said, oh, yes. She's a good girl, man. I said, give her the job. You'll never regret it. You know what the man said? Same thing I tell my board, you know. Because you're a kind of man, you know. I know she couldn't put your name there just so. She had to be worth it. He still didn't like me. He gave her the job. I made a note on my planner. I'm going to call him in 90 days. I have his number now to check on the girl. So I called him. I said, how is my girl getting on? He said, I said, Frederick, she's managing me, you know. But that is a proper personal assistant. They manage the manager. That's what they do. They manage your time, they manage your diary, they manage your movements, they manage who sees you, who talks to you. You get the message? And I knew she was good. So she works there for him now. Do you know I'm training that place now? Respect. Guess what? He still ain't like me. Because we are not friends. But he's getting value from respect. But you see, a lot of you go and work with one another and you're looking for a friend. And the friend dragging you down and you're going with them. Folks, I did a training program for a particular place, a quasi-government place recently. And the older woman who is throttling on fumes, you have to see, because she should be retired. They kept her on, but she gave in trouble because she's set in her ways. And a younger one sit close to her, and for the whole session, whoops, for the whole session, they chatting. Good? For the whole session. Now, that is a bit of a problem. Eventually, I called them out. I said, tell me something. What touched you the most about the training program today? Starting with you, the younger one. I said, okay, then what about you? You know, no? I said, so you came here for the refreshments and the lunch? And I started to dig into the two of them. And I told the young one, I said, how long you working here? 6 months. The older one, how long you working here? 30 something years. I say, so you're trying to get a soul to go with. You get the message? Because they're glad she going, the rest of the staff, she didn't know I did my homework already, and I pick it up. Because during the lunchtime, I asked them about her because she was a nuisance in the workshop. Are we making any sense? So I'm now giving her. I said, you going just now, and you're looking to take that soul with you. I say, young lady, you retarded. You just came in, and instead of forming a bond with a positive person, you formed a bond with a negative person to shorten your lifespan in the workplace. Because the young person is there 6 months, but you know she's on her second probation. What does that mean? She's not even likely to be kept. But she came and she went to the negative quadrant of the workplace. Folks, watch that. Watch that. Some of you carrying company with you that is not good. Some of you are held back by your choice of friendships. You need to watch that. If you're not a twin, don't hook up with anybody. Because twins are inseparable. Are we making any sense? You share DNA. But if you don't share DNA, hey, take it light now. Take care of you. Number one. Number one. Folks, when you go into an aircraft, and the aircraft goes into some turbulence and some serious problem of the pilot or the purser warns you that oxygen masks will come down. In the event that that happens, if you have any child or children in your care, what they ask you to do? Put on yours first. Why? Because you can't help anybody if you are helpless. You have to help yourself first. Well, why you have to let a person, a captain of a plane, tell you that you are the most important person in your life? You didn't know that? You didn't go in the plane knowing that? One of the things biologically that we must understand is that children breathe properly. Adults don't. So you'd be surprised. However long you take to put on your oxygen mask, that child's still alive because their lungs full. Some of you in this room may have last year air in your lungs still because you're breathing short. You just, oh yes, you don't breathe properly. You notice when you get frightened or you get nervous or you get people, oh, hey, breathe. Not that they tell you. Because it helps you to feel better. It helps you to dissipate the nervousness. It helps you to dissipate the fright. Because your brain functions better when it is properly oxygenated. Moving right along. Folks, in order to deliver an excellent standard of service, wherever you are right now, and a great account of yourselves, it is necessary for you to embark on a program of continuous improvement in the following areas. In the following areas. Look at them. Your attitude and your behavior. First and foremost, your attitude is the theory. Your behavior is the practical. And what do we mean by that? What's your attitude when you're going to work? And when you finally reach the work, you want to see the behavior now? Good morning, Agnes. Watch, I'm in a good mood now. You see, you start to talk now to manifest what somebody was actually seeing. Folks, we have to check our attitude. Grenadians right now are very low on attitude. Our attitude is poor. Our attitude towards ourselves, poor. And the very few of us who have a larger vision of ourselves, you sit down and you criticize us. You criticize us. Folks, get your attitude in check. Poor attitude or negative attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere unless you fix it. What about your parents? Your parents is another plus. Your packaging says a lot about you. That you respect your workplace enough to dress appropriately to be there. You respect the people you are working for enough to dress appropriately to be there. And we have some men in the room, but I want to direct this mostly to the women. You all have to be careful. Because a lot of you dress up for the world. And when you're home, you stay home in rags. Man, male, by nature, are simpletons. What does that mean? When we first met you, we hooked up with your attractiveness, and we never lose sight of wanting you to be attractive, always. Whether in the house or out the house, you should be consistent. You know what some of you might be saying, you know, when I go home, I feel so, I have on this brassiere, I have on this thing, I want to relax. But look around. You notice while you're relaxing, you're home alone. Check yourself. You realize you're home alone. Where the man? But you send him on hunt. Because you reach home and you take off your brassiere, take it off by two. You put on some old frock and you're home, you're unattractive. Watch it, folks. You have two standards, you have to watch that. I did a training program a couple weeks ago at a particular hotel. Listen to this. And it goes with double standard again. It was the staff that we were training, and the refreshments were poor. Imagine the hotel, they're working there, you know. And the refreshments were slapdash. And I actually pointed it out because, folks, I don't mix up anything, you know. I am as frank as they come, you know. My friend list full. So I'm not interested in no new friend. So I drop it as it needs to be dropped. And the manager was there. I said, this is disgusting. No wonder your staff behave the way they behave. You have two standards. What you're selling for the guests, they should be able to sample it so that they know that will never happen at Spice. One standard at Spice. Isn't that interesting? The staff canteen has a 21-day rotation of food. What does that mean? Nothing is repeated within 3 weeks. There was another hotel years ago where turkey starring every day. And the only difference in the turkey is where they put it on the plate. The location of the turkey on the plate is what changed. You getting the message? Folks, we need to think. One standard that we should have. And we should all marry ourselves to that standard because that's what professionalism speaks to. It speaks to standard. You see, you don't have to dress like this to stay home, you know, because this is boring. But you should have clothes for home. So when you ladies go home this afternoon, do some throwing for me, please. Yeah, do some throwing. Stay home nice. Get some wraps. Some of you might be saying, the man's still bad, mine is still going. That's because you're not keeping him home still. You need to keep him home, get him tired. When he go, where you going? Well, you're going to get boo. Appearance is important. But look at communication, folks. Folks, there are 3 ways we communicate. Body language, tone of voice, and actual words. Body language occupies 55% of our communication. You realize it's 5% more than half. Actions speak tell you how to say that another way. Your body is speaking so loudly, I could hardly hear what your mouth is saying. Like I could probably tell one of you something here, and you know what I say? That's what you feel. But you even realize that you just confirmed it, what I said, because of how you responded. Are we making any sense? That's how powerful body language is. Body doesn't lie. This lady in the red there is not telling me anything, but you're interested in what is going on now. You didn't tell me that, but your body language indicates that to me. Isn't it interesting? Come on. That's how loud body language is. So we have to check our body language. We must be conscious of our body language. Our tone of voice follows the body language. Imagine this young lady who just came in. Let's say I asked her a question and she feels a little intimidated by the environment. So instead she watched me up and down. So I find out who her boss is. You're her boss, for the convenience of the discussion. Young lady is very rude. She said, hey, I didn't tell the man nothing. You don't have to tell me anything because you were rude. Are we making any sense? Folks, we have to check our body language. Check it. How about our assertiveness? In Grenada today, we are either passive or aggressive. Too few of us are assertive. A passive person feels everybody right, everybody has better than them, everybody. And while they're telling you this about you and they're putting you up there, they're going down. The aggressive person is the one that's on top of you, beating you down because they are the king. But we want a merge of the two. We want to be assertive instead. We want to recognize that we have rights, but we are prepared to respect the rights of others in the process. You realize even on the job, you don't have to like each other. Just splice respect between you and the person you work for, and boy, you'll be surprised. Magic happens. Respect. The man doesn't like you, so you feel he ain't like me, so I'm not going to say good morning to him. You're wrong. You are wrong. You have to set a different tone. You cannot let him change you. You should change he. Good morning, Mr. John. How are you today? If he look back and he say, "Ade, that's your business." I bet you your consistency caused him to the tone to change over time. Because you're consistent. You are consistent. I didn't understand what kill him with kindness meant until I had to go home once at 19 to ask my mother, "This woman, do you know this so-and-so woman?" Say, "Yes, yes." And I said, "But she doesn't seem to like me." Working together with that woman at Spice at the time. My mother's response was, "I don't think she likes herself either." Because my mother went to school with her, they know each other. So, every time I say good morning, she doesn't answer. Or she would answer in a sort of way. Mother say, "You were brought up to have respect for older people. Just continue to be you. Continue to tell her good morning. Continue to ask her how she is. Continue to be polite. Do not let her suck you into becoming her." And then my mother says, "Kill her with kindness." First time I heard that. And I find I like the killer part first. I like that. But I want to know how to do it kindly. So she says, "No, just continue to be who you are." Do you know that woman went to her seamstress and get to discover who I was? She didn't know who I was. And those of you inside here in this room old enough to know what Geriatric was, that was like a lodge. Because the woman was a Geriatric, my mother was a Geriatric, and they were tight. And when she got to find out that that was my mother, you know what was her immediate response? No wonder he was never rude. You see, it came right back. Isn't that interesting? Because I would have made my mother shame if I were rude. Consistency, folks. Teamworking. T-E-A-M spells the word team. Together, everyone achieves more. That's what a team does. If you look at a rope A rope is a series of strands of thread, woven together, plaited together, braided together. Not so? But you realize the rope gets its strength from the total weakness of each strand. Because if you try to tie a boat by one strand of thread, you know, hold it. If you tie by the rope, which is a series of strands of thread, it holds it. You see strength? You see strength, folks? When you put things together, you get strength. You see a lot of people in Grenada, especially when they work in retail, they feel team means thief everything all the time for yourself. They don't know that it means together everyone achieves more. Well, folks, we have to learn to handle stress. And what do we mean by learn to handle stress? Stress is an external condition that we invite into our space by making poor choices. The woman with a 2 cell phone and had to drug water in the morning, that's stress. Isn't that interesting? Oh yeah, because your priorities are all over the place. If your priorities are all over this place, you must be stressed. If when you go to courts, you don't know to take the stove alone and go, but you let the attendant entice you to take a fridge too, and a bed, and a boombox, and a this, and a that. What's sweet in goat mouth does end up sour elsewhere. Not so? Because you will have stress on the job. Why? You're having visions of the, not courts coming and take the truck. Because you celebrated when you got the stuff. You didn't mind the whole village seeing the truck coming and delivering things, not so? But you have a problem with the empty truck coming up the hill and going back down full from your address. That is stress. Folks, we have to learn to manage time. Too many of us in Grenada feel time is something that we should be careless about. Every one of us in this room here has 24 hours on the clock. Stop envying another because they have more time than you. You sound retarded. Everybody has 24. What you are ashamed of is that he or she is managing their time better than you. What's the average of your going to bed in the night? What time is the average you're going to bed? 9, that's good. 8, that's good. Now some of you afraid to say because you are some of you look around, you know. You're going to bed 12 and 1 because you're allergic to bed. But I'm going to drop some pearls of wisdom for you in context of time. When you steal time from your sleep, you are impacting negatively your health. When you steal time from your work, you are impacting negatively your productivity. 8 hours for work, 8 hours for sleep, 16 hours from your 24 hours gone already. But you cannot not use time. You are always using time. So what does that mean? You get up in the morning, you have to brush your teeth. You have to use the toilet. You have to bathe. You have to iron. You have to have breakfast. You have to make it. You have to go shop. You have to commute to go to work and from work. You realize you cannot not use time. You're always using time. Notwithstanding you're sitting still here right now, you are using time. But you must use your time wisely. So 8 and 8, 16. But we all know that it's 24 hours a day. How many hours a week? You have to do some quick calculation. After today, never let that happen to you again. Because it still is going to be 168 hours every week. Try not to forget that figure. 168 hours. So if we work for 8 hours, 5 days a week, that's 40 hours gone. One activity for the week. And we're down by 40 hours. We sleep 8 hours a night by 7 nights. 56. 40 and 56, 96 hours. Are you aware that you only have 72 hours in the 168 hours now? And you only did 2 activities. But remember, I told you, you cannot not use time. You are always using time. But it is further estimated that on a weekly basis, we spend another 40 hours doing all those things. Commuting, bathing, cooking, shopping, preparing food. Are we making any sense? Another 40 hours. So when we add that together, we're left with 32 hours. Can you find your 32 hours for the week? Because you have no discipline. Because wherever you work, you're allowed to do whatever you want. So that is why your life has no structure. Are we making any sense? So you never would have thought that there's a 32 hours average that you can find to use for yourself. So sleep, work, what's the next activity that you're going to spend the other 32 hours doing? Let me hear you. It's an R word. Pardon? Oh God, you're resting again? You're practicing to dead? You sleep already, you know. Anybody resting again, they're practicing to dead? Pardon? Recreation. Pronounce it phonetically for me. No, not re. Say it for me. Come on, say it for me. What goes on in your mind when you say the word recreation? Not something totally different from recreation? Because we have been brainwashed within ourselves to feel recreation mean anything. But from the time you say recreation, doesn't it mean structure? Doesn't it mean you could use the 32 hours to prepare yourself to move up in life? Recreate yourself. Sometimes, folks, the only thing you want to do after a hard day's work is to go down by the ball pitch, find your favorite stone, sit down on it, and just do your head this up and down while the fella's kicking ball. That's a form of you recreating yourself. A simple little thing. You have no children, but your sisters have and your brothers have, and you're full of vehicle after work, and you bring them for ice cream. Folks, that's something totally different from work, you know. And them children gonna make some argument about who get bigger ice cream, who I didn't like this one again, and blah blah. When you come on there, you're telling your mother now who is their grandmother. Me? Not me again, no? But you know what it is? It was far removed from work though. And you know what is interesting about the children? That once you ever did that, you become the favorite uncle, you know. And they remember that as if you just do it all the time, you know. It gives you satisfaction. Folks, what about a little sitting down looking at some TED Talks on YouTube, filling your mind with good stuff, as against jumping under somebody's Facebook page to see if you could jumbie the thing. Looking for Mawet to plug into. Folks, build yourself now. I have found that over the years, Grenadians have become forgettable. You listen to the death announcement and you hear who dead, and as soon as it's done, you forget who dead. You know why? They did not live. They left no mark. There's no legacy. Our outstanding nature has just died. COVID came, a lot of people died. Tell me the outstanding ones. Name them. Come on. We hard pressed to find them. And we are lining up to be that too. Not me though. Because when I die and the word hit town, half of Grenada will say, oh, he should have dead long. But that's a lot of people. But guess what? All how that is their comment, they know who died because he lived. Isn't that interesting? And a lot of you hiding. A lot of you are alive right now and it's a secret. Nobody knows that you're alive. Isn't that interesting? Because you're not standing out. Folks, we were born to stand out, not to fit in. And too many of us are coming with the crowd. You are a caregiver. Why can't you be the best caregiver? Stand out. Don't be contented to just, well, I'm a caregiver, what am I going to do? And you take it as though it is a demotion in life. Hell no. You could be the best caregiver. Be the best at what you do. And let me tell you something. How many of you, let me see the show of hands in here. How many of you have children? You know what that means? You all have to stop living for you. Even in your profession, you are doing it for your children. The people you are giving care to right now, they have children too, you know. The mere fact that they could afford you tells you that they have some means. Not so? If even they don't own business, their children might be managing a business. And when your child goes to look for a job by those people's children, and they say their name, the man might joke back and say, Jeremiah? What? Who Jeremiah? Agnes. Jeremiah was my mom. But she took care of my grandmother. Interview done, you get a work. Because you stood out as a caregiver. Are we making any sense? Do the best job you can, folks. Because you're doing it for your children. We need to establish goals with our lives. Stop saying, I want to live in the house on the hill while you wake up, because that's a dream. Are you planning to thief the house on the hill? On the little salary that you have now? No. You see, folks, goals have to be divided into personal and professional. Your personal goal might be to live in the house on the hill, but you have to tweak your professional goal to make it a reality, because your profession is where you get your cha-ching from. So you have to tweak it. Folks, an employee, any one of us in this room here, cannot reach our maximum potential if we do not understand what we need to improve. Don't let anybody tell you what you need to improve. You're supposed to know yourself what you need to improve. Take stock of yourself. So let me hear you together. We need to take stock of ourselves. Let me hear you. We need to take stock of ourselves. Let me hear you say it as if you mean it now. Come on. We need to take stock of ourselves. Take stock of yourselves. Let me hear you affirm this. This is my time to show up with my best self and make caregiving stand out through me. Let me hear you. This is my time to show up with my best self and make caregiving stand out through me. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, let's have some action in the room. Folks, wherever you find yourself in life at some point in time, as I told you earlier, you made an appointment to be there. So, I want to hear you together now. We are ready and committed to make a new appointment. We are ready and committed to make a new appointment. Good. I want you to bring your best self to work every day, folks. Too many Grenadians go to work with their whole self. And that's a whole problem. You see, this morning, you got up to go to work, and Carmen across the fence fret you, your neighbor, and you start with her. And the only reason why you stop is because you're afraid you're late. So you didn't finish. Well, it's not even till you come back. Because when you reach to work, you're trying to continue. You're looking for a Carmen at work to see if you could continue with the rage that you went to work with. Are we making any sense? We need to stop it. Folks, this is where you live. The end of the wall down there is where you work. When you're coming from here, there's an imaginary halfway line. You're supposed to know when you cross it. You could be coming from here with your face set up as 10 rat trap. But when you reach that halfway line, gotta change. It's got to change. Because it is nobody's business what happened behind that line. You see, a lot of us don't realize that we're not happy at home and we are not happy at work either. You know why? Because of us. We have no cutoff. So we living in hell at home. Everything is bacchanal, mawet, confusion, la 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 la. When you go to work, the people say, oh God, thank God. I hope she didn't come early today. The people are home happy you're gone. And then when you reach to work, you see some people in the door, people, oh shit, she come in. Oh Lord, she come in. You get a message. That's a problem. Folks, when people don't check on you like that, you are the problem. You are the problem. And you have to own up. That is why we need to take stock of ourselves. Good, we need to take stock of ourselves. So come to work with your best self and not your whole self. Let's repeat this. Excellence begins with me. I am in control of my attitude. What did Jamaicans say? I run things. Things now run me. That's right. I respect my customers' or clients' points of view. Why? Why do you respect their points of view? I'll teach you something here today, folks. That's what makes Spice Island Beach Resort stand out. The customer is the boss. You see, the staff at Spice know that. That is why the customers, they're happy, because they treat them as if they're in charge. They're at their beck and call. Isn't that beautiful? But you see some of you sit down here, me, them have their money already, we mean sorry in them now. What are you doing there? Folks, there's a profession for anybody that behaves like that. There's a profession for you. It's called debauching. You have no right working with people if that's your attitude. You should be cutlassing on the side of the road. There's no confusion there. You can't displease nobody on the side of the road. But if somebody is paying you for a service, you should deliver over and beyond. That's how they come back. That is how they come back. You see? You must respect their point of view because their point of view is very important. I am committed to creating memorable experiences. Let me hear you.
I'm committed.
No, with energy. You're chuckling down now. I know you might be hungry, but make as if you just eat. Come on. I am committed to creating memorable experiences. Good. I am legendary in my service to others. I care, I'm kind, I'm honest, and I'm nice. Yes. You know, there's this thing, a lot of us are afraid to say we're nice. Because what people might say. Hey, watch me go. To hell with them. You must not say you're nice and you know you're not nice. You must say you're nice because you are nice. I treat others the way I want to be treated. That's the golden rule, folks. That's the golden rule. I am proud of my appearance, my behavior, and my language. I am committed to making every day the best day. Why? It could be your last. Folks, I always tell people in workshops, if one of you were to die together with me right here, right now, and everybody comes over and they look at the two of us, they could see, based on my last facial expression, that I'm finished. And they could see you vexed. You know why? Because you woke up this morning without an intention for your day. I died in the process of accomplishing my intention. You see how conscious I am? Because I am aware that it could be my last. I am aware of that because we walk with death. We walk with it. But I choose to run with life. Because that must be your intention when you wake up in the morning. There were a lot of you very ungrateful, you know. You sleep last night, you ain't know nothing, you're almost dead. And the first words that come out of your mouth when you wake up in the morning is, oh God, you mean it's morning already? And why are you laughing? Because it's true. What are you basically expressing there? Ungratefulness. And as I always tell people, you see you had right, you should have dared it. Because you're not even grateful on your first entrance, folks. You took your first breath of life this morning while somebody took their last. And it wasn't you. Be a lot more grateful when you wake up. Show enthusiasm for your life, folks. So I am committed to making every day the best day. My super service will reap great rewards. Let me hear you.
My super service will reap great rewards.
I build relationships that last a lifetime.
I build relationships that last a lifetime.
When I smile, my customers smile.
When I smile, my customers smile.
Wonderful. Some of you have people who are into dementia, not so? And Alzheimer's and that sort of thing. I'll tell you something. Some time ago, a friend of mine, his mother, was suffering from this same, well, not same, but Alzheimer's. And the short-term memory that gone completely. But when I went up to see the mother, as soon as I reached in, let's say her name was Dorothy, and her surname would have been Paul. So I said, Dorothy Pablo. She jumped. She said, who know me by my right name there? You see, I am speaking to her in the past. And we had a beautiful conversation. You need to find out things about your customers, your clients in the past, and have conversations with them about those things. And you'll find it less stressful for you. Don't just go there and you don't want to find out. Well, I mean, she doty, so I go do. And then, no. There's a science to this. And here am I speaking. You know what she said? She took over the conversation. She said, only 3 girls, not women, because she's back there. Only 3 girls used to call me that. Gertrude Frederick, Ermentrude Gittins, and Ruth Scipio. One of them is my mother, Gertrude. Get a message. And then she stopped now and she says, Gertrude had a son, a boy. Oh, he was nice. He never used to pass my shop straight, And when he come in, I always had to give him a little food because she used to cook food too. I said, well, you're talking to him. She said, no. Oh, no. He's a little boy, man. He's not no big man like you. He's a little... You see what's going on? Because even in the present, she's showing it away because she don't want to talk about that. She's talking about me and enjoying her conversation based on the past. The caregiver sit down there, the caregiver cry, She said, but you just come and you make that lady speak. She looked like she have all the sense in the world. I said, because what I'm talking to her there about is what my mother told me about them. So I'm speaking to her in the past. And she was quite okay, lucid in the past. And look at how far back, because I wasn't even born yet. Look at how far back. The message here is clear. Folks, I want to share this last thing with you before I take off. My super service will reap great rewards. Never forget that. A truth about that, folks, is I am a living example of that. I worked at Spice as assistant manager, and I was very, very, very kind to a couple. I didn't even know I was being kind to them. I'll tell you the story as short as I could. They came to the hotel, they checked in, and they declared that they were vegans. First time I hear about that, because that's 41 years ago. Vegan. So I looked up at them in a nonchalant kind of way, and I said, what, vagrant? And they laughed. But they looked at each other, the husband and the wife, and I read the look. What do you think the look was? I told you they would never have heard of this. That's what I picked up in between the two of them. So then he says, oh, Eddie, because I had on my name badge, Eddie, I'll have you know that we do not eat any byproducts from animals. So no cheese, no egg, no milk, no butter. Well, I never heard that in my life. So I'm getting even worse now with my cheeks. So I look up and say, hey, and you all in there yet? And that man, he was a smoker. Laugh, 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 laugh. In my head, I'm playing for time. Well, these people are here for 3 weeks. What are we going to get them to eat? So I'm trying to see what I can do. I said, you know what, Mr. Creamer, before I escort you up to the room, do you mind if I introduce you to our chef? Because I think you all should have a conversation. He said, sure, sure. Boy, I'm going up to the kitchen now to look for Charlie to introduce him and put him to talk. And I say to him, I said, Lord Jesus, I hope Charlie hear about this thing. So when I reach up to the kitchen now, I said, Charlie, come. I want to introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Creamer. They're in room 40. And they're going to be here with us for 3 weeks. But they are vegans. And I paused. I should have continued. Because now I get bright because I know what vegan is. I go and pause. Who tell me to pause here, Charlie? What? No, I feel embarrassed. So I took over. I said, Charlie, that means that I don't eat egg, cheese, but nothing from animals. Charlie put his hand in his... Is that for a drink? I don't know now. So I'm a little disappointed now. Obviously, as manager on duty, I am to get a solution for this. Because this is 21 days, man. These people are here for. So I say, you know what, Charlie? Take them to the kitchen. Give them a tour of the chill room. And when you finish, here's the key. Go to the storeroom, because the storeroom at Spice is like a supermarket. And let them go through the shelves and see if we are okay with what we have there, you know? So that they can, and maybe you all can get together tomorrow and they can help you plan a menu or two so that we could take it from there. Charlie said, okay, fair enough. But as I'm walking off, I said, no, better yet. Mr. Creamer, do you mind, you and your wife, if we give you permission to come down to the kitchen and just do your own thing? You would do that? I said, well, it's either that or you're dead. And they start to laugh. So that came and that done. We enjoy ourselves. The people going down to the kitchen, they're cooking. Oh, they helped the hotel develop vegan menus. Oh yeah, that was the beginning of that. They kept coming every year because they liked that. So I finally left the hotel and I was still assigned to the hotel, going twice a week just to show the staff how to greet guests and that sort of thing. And I made a joke with Sir Royston, who wasn't Sir Royston at the time. He was my very good friend. God rest his soul. I said to him, you're still going to England for World Travel Market this year? He said, sure, every year. Come on, I have to promote the hotel. And I don't know what got into me. Something said to me, okay, I'm not working here again. So I said, well, take me with you now. He said, you serious? If you're serious, let's go. Bingo, you know. Yes. So I went. So when we finished with World Travel Market, we went Saturday to Saturday. So we finished with World Travel Market Wednesday night. So we're free Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we leave. So I told Royston while we're sitting in the street, I said, Royston, you know, the Creamers told me anytime I come to England, I should check them out. He said, well, call them. This time, no cell phone in those days. You take out your address book, and you search through, you find a name, you call the number. So he answered the phone. So I said to him, this is Eddie. He's from Grenada. He said, yes, I know you. Your voice is distinct, man. Come on. Are you in England? I said, yes, I'm in London, and we're at the Swallow, Royston and I, and we leave on Saturday. He says, oh, no. You couldn't stay for 2 weeks? I said, no. We finished, and we just have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you know, and we'll be gone. He said, oh, that's regrettable, man. Because I did tell you you should stay. If you come to England, I'd like to return the favor because you've been so good to us at Spice and blah, 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 and whatnot. So I said, maybe another time. So he agreed to have lunch with us Saturday. Come on, pick us up, take us to lunch, and then to the airport. So put on the phone now. I didn't see Royston behind there. He said, hey, what was that about? I said, well, he telling me about some 2 weeks and stay here. But, you know, he said, you're working anyway? He said, man, stay and stop your stupidness. You're too coward. Stay and stop your nonsense, man. When the man drops you in the airport, there's only one place you could go. And when you get there, from there, they direct you wherever you have to go, because although I'm a traveler, I'm not adventurous at all. Huh? So I agreed to stay. So he came, yes, picked us up. We went to lunch. And we on our way. We always turn to the airport, and we on our way to this man's house. So we're driving, and we're talking. So what are you doing now, Eddie? I say, well, I have intentions to start a training business. But I haven't started yet, but there's an introduction to it because I'm at Spice just showing the staff how to greet, how to meet, how to socialize and whatnot with the customers. When we finally got to his house, I am now going to live in a palace. I had no clue who these people were, you know. These people full of money. They own, you know, the woman who caused King Henry VIII to divorce, Anne Boleyn. Henry VIII gave her this palace. That was her palace while he was courting her. This is the man's home now, you know. The man owns that place. You go to me, go in palace and sleep, you know. So when I reach up there, and the man is very humble, no, he wasn't kind of no, very humble. So I rung the vehicle and I take out my suitcase, and he says, no, Eddie, the servants will take this time out the whole place lined with servants and, oh yeah, all kind of. And what do you think my suitcase was back then? A grip. A grip, you know, with the Falcop key. A grip. So he says to me now, I want to take you down the road. You see, a lot of us don't want to be ourselves when we're talking to these people. But these people want to learn you when they come here. So you heard what he told me down the road, it's coming back. He's giving me what I used to tell him when he was in Grenada. So I said, all right. I had no clue where we're going. So we go down about 6 miles down the road. And we enter this yard where it's just upmarket cars, Aston Martins, Porsche, Lamborghini, just Range Rovers. So I thought it was a pub. And I could well do that there. So we got in there, he parked, and we went up the steps. But I noticed I'm seeing Chief Technical Officer, Chief Technological Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief this, Chief that. And then we entered this large room, bigger than this, maybe twice the size of this, which was his office. Chief Executive Officer and Chairman. So I was given a seat, I sat. And he says, Eddie, did you see the sign outside? I said, no. I said, because if I had seen the sign, I would have known it's not a pub, because I thought you were taking me to a pub. And he laughed. He says, no, come. He opened the window and he says, peep, just peep. When I looked outside, I saw a sign marked Modus Training. And then he declared to me that he and his wife are sole owners. They have no partners in this training business. And that business is the largest training company in all of the UK and the 4th largest in Europe. And he says, I'm so happy you changed your mind to stay with us for 2 weeks, because come Monday morning, we are starting a 2-week Train the Trainers certification course, and you are welcome to be our guest free of charge. You see how my life was lined up by God? I came back to Grenada with my certification as a trainer from the best for free. You know, coming down Pearls, over the hills, you know where I'm going? I'm going to Spice, I'm going to Hopkins. He has to be the first person to see that certificate. And you'll be surprised to know what he said to me. My discount is in that, because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have get it. And that was the relationship of my training. They became the first client. And that is why I'm glad to say that they are the most outstanding client today. Folks, always remember your super service will reap great rewards. Always remember that. Do not half step. That is why we say excellence begins with, must begin with you, and it must end with you. I want to do a bit of jumping here because we're going into the last, and then go. Give me 1 second. Folks, there are 5 E's to complete motivation. You see? Motivation leads to excellence. You must come every day motivated. But how do you come every day motivated when your mind is thinking about wrong things? Your mind thinking about how you want this modern cell phone and you only have Alcatel. Stop it, you have a phone. Your mind is thinking, I want a better car and I have this little old mush. Hey, you're not walking. It takes you where you want. Be contented, folks. For you to be motivated constantly, you have to change your language. When you wake up in the morning, you must know you are good because you're above ground and you should be grateful. So stop this thing about how are you a day. What do you mean by that? You don't find how long you've been answering a day. You don't find you still day. Because you give life to the language you speak. How are you? So. How are you? Not bad. You realize not bad are 2 words that mean good. And you feel to say good is too good for you. Folks, when people ask me how am I, I'm above ground, I'm loving it. I don't say blessed and highly favored. Because a lot of people say so as if they join words. Blessed and highly favored. But they lie. Because just how they say it, they can't even say good. Are we making any sense? You're above ground and loving it, man, and you must love it. And it must show. So you wake up with enthusiasm. Remember, your life is yours. So you should experiment with your life until you get it right. The more you experiment, is the more experience you get. The more you experiment is the more experience you gain in life. Never forget that. The more experience you get causes you to operate with expertise in your field. And an expert is capable of? You realize it starts with enthusiasm. I wake up this morning, oh, thank you, God, for this new day. Enthusiasm. Rather than, oh God, you mean it's morning already? I have to go by them people again. Oh God. You see, you should drop down and dead? Because you're not willing. Folks, that word enthusiasm comes from a Greek word, entheos. And theos in Greek means God. So when you are enthusiastic, you are in God. You live a prayerful life. Excellence leads to success, folks. Never forget that. But you see, success, it's a moving target. You could be successful in buying a car. But on day 1 of your ownership of that car, you failed on maintenance because you popped a tire and you can't replace it. So what are you doing buying a car? You see, it's a bicycle you should have owned. Because you were not prepared for success in completion. Because success is not only about purchase. Success has to do with maintenance. Success has to do with replacement. Success keeps moving. Because it is not a destination to arrive at, it's a journey that we're on. And last but not least, the 3 dimensions of life, folks. Successful life. Your health, your career, and your relationships. Never forget these 3 dimensions. Your health is your wealth. Never forget. And look at it right here, you know. Your health is your wealth, because this is the source of your wealth, your career, your work. So you could imagine this gone. What happens to this? It's gone too. But because you like bacchanal, tebe, and confusion, you never developed any of these. So when these two go, what happened to you? You're gone through. You can imagine you go to the doctor and he gave you some sad, sad news that has a time span on it of 90 days or 180 days, 3 months or 6 months. And you have no good relationships. How are you making the 3 months? How are you making the 6 months? When you come from the doctor, you think you have any right to go home? No, you should go in the cemetery and find a stone and just sit down. Stay there. Because your life led you to not have relationships, so nobody is looking at you now. Folks, relationships does not mean marriage and parish. That's a mistake we make. We cannot differentiate. Folks have become so antisocial now, it isn't funny. I only tolerate who I want around me. Full stop. Because I have found out, I've lived long enough to find out that people are not genuine. I have very, very, very few close friends. And oh God, we tight. My oldest relationship is 57 years old. Not the person, you know, the age of the relationship. We grew together and we never went apart. As a matter of fact, I'm closer to him than he is to his only other brother. His 18 children are the 18 children I don't have. And my one child is the additional one he doesn't have. That's how close we are. And I know all the 18 children. Never mind they're all about. You understand what I'm saying? Never mind they're all about. Uncle Eddie, Uncle Eddie, Uncle Eddie. Relationships are important, folks. When my friends have parties, I don't go. You know why? Their friends are not my friends. It's as simple as that. They celebrate a birthday, I go the night before. Because they are my friend, not their friends. And I enjoy life like that. I enjoy life like that. It's working for me. When COVID came, I had 3 years of no work. I call it bad, you know. I could show you the spot below the bed where I spent the whole of COVID, you know. Good? Message is clear. But I did not suffer any lack. A lot of us in this room, when you have a friend that gives you $50, you're trying to find a way to somewhere down the road to give them $50 too. That's not your gift. God did not give you money. He gave them money. God may have given you the opportunity or the ability to make coconut buns. Make a coconut bun and bring for him or her. That's your gift. Your gift is when you hear they're sick, you call to find out how they're doing, and then you go and cook for them. That's your gift. Or you bring food for them. That's your gift. You see, we want to match gifts. Don't match gifts. You see, your gift might be singing. Maybe you could sing for her, sing for him. That's your gift. My gift is motivation. So what happens to my friends? They call me, Eddie, I need an idea from you. I need to run something by you. When they run it by me, we talk about it. And then what? They go on and convert it into chiching. Are we making any sense? But don't think they didn't value my input. Because they didn't run it by anybody else. Are we making any sense? That's your gift. Let your relationship be not that of because I am matching what they give me. No! My gift is motivation. I always tell people about teaching. When people teach years ago, they used to want to put their children in a box. I never went home without a report in the comment section that says, Eddie talks too much. If Eddie would talk less, he will do better. You see, they wanted me to do better according to the box. It's a good thing I didn't listen to them, because what I'm doing for a living or not talking. You get a message? Because you see, teachers are not trained to look for the skills in their students. They're trained to fill up a curriculum. You see? So I want to thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I think it was time well spent, if I may say so myself. I hope it has inveigled an interest in you to be the best at what you do, to do the best job you can, to bring your best self to work every day, and to make sure that excellence actually does begin with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frederick, for this impactful presentation. One that I would say has been food for thought, and I know we would have all taken, if it's one thing from this presentation. But let us remind ourselves to pay attention. Appearance is important. When we're doing our personal checklist, let us remember appearance is important. Never forget, we work to maintain our standard of living and quality of life. And let us remember also to use our time wisely. And remember the 5 E's: enthusiasm, experiment, experience, expertise, and excellence. Thank you again, Mr. Frederick. Let us give him another round of applause, please. Thank you so much. We now have a short skit by the social worker students of the T.A. Marisho Community College, please. And we'll go right into the other skit after this one by the Grenada Citizen Advice and Small Business Agency Grencase representatives.
Good afternoon, everyone. So we were meant to have more classmates to come along with us, but as you can see, they're not here, so we're just going to try our best. And yes, so we'll be portraying 3 forms of physical abuse, and you, the caregivers, will have to guess what abuse we are portraying. So physical, psychological, and neglect, and you would guess which one.
We're not doing them in order, so you
Yeah.
have to guess which one we're doing at a time.
Exactly. Neglect. Come on, that's the picture. Okay. Neglect.
Oh gosh, wow. Speak up, eh? Can you hear me?
Can come on.
No, you could talking to somebody. This one's for online, okay?
Oh gosh, boy, I'm hungry. Since yesterday I don't eat. Let me ask my caregiver for some food, eh? Excuse me, Miss Lewis. What's your door fresh? Miss Lewis. I can't stand these people in this place. They don't feeding people there. Miss Lewis, and she taking a picture. I really had to tell my daughter about this, you know. Miss Lewis. Sorry, don't hear me. I had to sign a report about this. I can't deal with that again. And she feels she nice.
Okay, so that was the first
So which one do you think it
scenario.
was? Okay, no problem. Miss
Miss, okay, I clean.
So that was the second scenario.
What abuse was that?
Physical issue. Ow.
It was physical. And then the final one. Jane girl. Yes, and these people work again, we.
Miss,
Watch, look, she calling me. I don't know what she wants again. What you want?
I just want you to get a book for me.
You
I'm
can walk, you
bored.
can get up. Look at the book
You
right
not can
there.
walk.
Get up. You have 2 legs. Get up.
You're very disagreeable, innit?
You have 2 legs and you can't walk. What's the
I have
point?
arthritis. You don't walk.
And so, walk the muscles. Come,
So
get
what
up.
to walk
Get up there. You're too big for that.
Right.
3 times in an hour to change your pampers. Control your bladder. Do better than that. You're too big for that, man. Yes, Jane. Girl, honestly, I just
really
want
fed
to
up by
leave this
what?
work. I just
Then
waiting
leave.
for Wednesday to get me pay, and I go in. I can't do that
I
again.
don't know what it is for your fine because you're not doing nothing inside.
And I'm watching you.
Watching me? That alone.
Look, I'm watching you. There is more than enough.
I don't know where they train these people and them in this place.
Girl, I'll call you later when I make a TikTok.
TikTok. You look like TikTok.
And that was the final scenario.
Okay.
Thank you very much again to the students of the T.A. Marisho Community College, and we now invite the Grenada Citizen Advice and Small Business Agency Grand Case representatives to do their skit.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
And how are you?
I'm fine.
And how is Auntie Joan this
She's
morning?
great.
I'm calling to find out what you're doing for her today.
We have to go to the bank because her daughter sent a little change and we're going to get it today. So you know I does do it as right as possible. So I'll be going there.
Okay, I hope that you will manage her little finance in a good way for her this morning.
Don't worry, I will do that. Don't worry.
Okay then.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll call you when I get back.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. John,
Yes, Miss Francis.
we have to go by Tanti up there.
Who Tanti? Tanti on the hill?
Yes, the lady.
Oh, God, Tanti again.
They send a change. Stop that. They send a change.
Okay.
We go deal with it.
All
Let
right.
we go. You
All
hear?
right, yeah, all
All
right.
right. Good morning, Tanti.
Morning, Tanti.
Morning.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm just searching for the little ID card on the
So long I tell you about the thing so you can pick up
where
everything.
it is. I don't know
Where
where
it
it is. I don't know where to find it. I'm looking on.
Come, hold on.
It.
Look it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we'll put it in the bag. Let me go.
Let me. Stop. Check out. Put out your foot. Put your foot out.
Oh God, well, all the young people, wicked elderly people, so all in not to get old.
Put your foot out. Let me go.
Okay. All in have no patience at all with the elders.
All right. Let me go. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. I bring Tanti to get a little something. All right?
Morning, Papa. How you doing?
Good morning.
I come to get a little change to put in my hand.
How much do you want this morning?
1,000.
Okay.
What's she singing also? I don't know. What's she doing? Well, what's she doing there? What's she doing there?
Tack, a whole hour.
Make it snappy.
Excuse me, can I please give the lady some privacy, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Papa, you give me some change and some 100.
Yes. How you want it?
You give me some 20s and you could give me a little 50
We have to
and
give
a little
something.
100, Papa, because I'm a little money for me to hold in my bag for me to have.
No problem.
Because she getting through. She getting through.
Before to get a new cut,
No, you will get something.
Here is it.
Okay, thank you.
You have to sign, please. Thank you.
Okay.
She's signing.
Okay, thanks, eh?
Here is your receipt,
She
ma'am.
get-
Thank you very much,
Put it away good,
God
yes?
God bless you. Let me
Put it
put it
away.
down in the
Put it
bag
down in the
because
bag.
I don't want to lose it because I work hard for this money
know.
in my young age and I want to take care of it. Thank you,
So you
girl.
have a blessed
God bless
evening.
you, girlfriend.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
With them.
Hey, baby, look at us here.
Okay.
So, Tanti, don't forget me drink, eh?
Where we have to go again?
Drink.
Yeah, don't forget
Oh
me
God,
drink.
well, I want to don the 2 pence.
Okay, let
I
go.
only
Wait.
want.
You want to go in food land?
Yes, I want a little sugar, a little
You see
rice,
what I
and a
tell you,
little
stay long,
butter.
and I could have well go and do the thing for you, As you stay long inside there.
Oh God,
here,
well, I have
here.
patience now.
The price raise.
Price raise for what? Oh God, more money again.
the
But I want to don the little money.
The taxi, 150. Boy, these people
Oh
are
God,
easy.
last month I paid 50, 150. No,
Yes.
no man,
No,
that not right.
why you have to
I
get
want to
food
learn to
and-
take the bus.
Okay, why you have to get food?
But a little backaneck, a little rice, and a little sugar. Make sure I get a bottle of spirits for me for the whole year.
You hear? Give me the money. Give me the money.
Oh God, well, hold on now. All I like money, so I'll you work for that money?
No, darling. What is that? Can't do nothing.
Oh God, well, how much you want? How
Like
much?
$5,
Lord, well, how much more? Oh God. Lord.
Pricing thing.
Lord.
The
Well, I
thing
don't want
and
me to
them.
go home with nothing.
Listen.
Oh,
The thing
God.
and them hot. The price hot. Everything raised now. Come, give me a little thing again.
I still have to pay the man, you forget. I still have to pay the man.
We get a little thing. We go buy a drink. We pick up where pick it up. Tanti, that don't pay. That money. Give us
The
something.
money don't have
Lord have mercy. Well, I ain't have nothing to go home with. No, well, I done. Oh God, I only want to take all the money from me before I reach home.
And you have to. You have to pay the man. You don't pay the man.
Oh God, Lord.
Pay the man. Pay the
150.
man.
Oh God, by your wicked way, you can't say you could do that for the elder. Oh God, they're taking all the money from me before I reach home.
Thank you very much.
So thank you again to the representatives of Gren Case. We'll now have some closing remarks by Ms. Lydia Thomas, social worker, Desk of the Elderly, the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
Good afternoon, everyone, again. It was really good to have everyone here. Over the years, we have always planned, the ministry recognizes World Elderly Awareness Abuse Day, as the UN also recognize this day. However, we have never had anything of plan for caregivers. And the Desk of the Elderly to the ministry thought that we should have something to include caregivers to bring awareness of abuse. because statistics shows that most elderly persons are abused by caregivers, family members, as we say, friends, people close to them who has that opportunity to abuse them. And we know sometimes even us in homes, in speaking to our children, to each other, and we abuse each other, and we don't even recognize that realize we are abusing each other. So we wanted to bring awareness of some of the other abuses out there besides the physical and the verbal, which that are prevalent and which we know. But we wanted to look at those hidden ones that happens very often also that we may not be aware of, like the psychological and emotional neglect, self-neglect. We haven't spoken about that one today. Older persons, do not want to take care of themselves, those who can. Yes, self-neglect. And so I am happy that this forum happened. I'm happy that you are here, that you came out, you participated, and I'm sure that you gained something here today. At least I hope that you have gained something here today, correct? Yes. All right. So as we leave this afternoon, I'd just like to say thank you. Thank you for everyone who made this possible. Thank you to our media persons here today who came to capture this, to both Grencase and TAMCC students for the skit. It was well done. And we also have persons from the Grenada, from the Ministry Home Care Program here also, right? So, and ministry workers. So we are happy that this happened. And as I said, we want to chat together, the same voice, no to elderly abuse, no to elderly abuse. And as we said before, if you see something, report it, say something. And let us in our profession as social workers, as caregivers, try to administer love and patience always. Those days, those bad days, when we ourselves have bad days, we know either not to go, speak to somebody about the issue, but the elderly person is the last person that should get the backlash of what's ever happening in our personal lives. So again, to everyone, thank you. Thanks for coming. And we have some snacks. So before you go, you will grab your snack, participate in that before you leave. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. And we now have the vote of thanks by Ms. Katisha Francique, social worker, trainee supervisor, desk of the elderly, Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
Protocol already established. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Ministry of Social Development, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to all those who make this event possible. First and foremost, I would like to thank the event organizers for the meticulous planning and execution. Our sincere thank you to distinguished speakers who shared their valuable insight today. We are grateful to our esteemed guests for their presence and support. A big thank you to all the attendees for being here and making this event a success. We also extend our gratitude to the support staff for the behind-the-scenes effort that ensure everything runs smoothly. Once again, thank you all for your support and participation. Have a great evening and safe travels.
Thank you very much, Ms. Francique. Would anyone like to volunteer to do a prayer? All right, so Mr. Kison Ferguson. We now invite Mr. Kison Ferguson to lead us in closing prayer.
Let's please stand. Almighty Father, we thank you for bringing us here today. We thank you for the information launch. We pray that as we leave here, we may network with one another and we may continue to serve our elderlies with passion and with zeal, and that we may continue to take good care of them. In your name we pray, and we pray for traveling mercies as we go forth. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right, so we want to wish everyone a safe travel home, and we want to thank you for being here with us this afternoon. And as we celebrate and observe World Elder Abuse Awareness Day on Saturday, that's tomorrow, we want to remind you of the theme for this year: Spotlight on Older Persons in Emergencies. And we ask that you continue to raise awareness to combat elder abuse. If you see something, say something, right? We now close. That's where we come to the end of this evening session, and we have some refreshments on your way out. Thank you again, and everyone get home safe.